let's start boondocking. Are you ready? Let's go.
All right, boondocking can be challenging, especially when you have temperature extremes. This morning it was 40 degrees outside and it's supposed to get to like 84 today, but we woke up to a van at 53 degrees. Not too shabby, but 60% humidity. So lots of stuff going on today. It's gonna be interesting temperature extremes to keep the van at a really happy, I'd say 65, 70 would be fine. What's interesting is the thermometer in the van says it's 49 in this particular area. And of course my other thermometer says it's 53. So bottom line is it's gonna be different temperatures all over the van, even though it's such a small little space. So you've just gotta sort of pick and choose which one you wanna go with. So when you start boondocking, you're gonna start to understand your electrical system even more. Lots of things you may not have understood, such as what does your inverter do? How many watts do certain appliances take? All sorts of information like that, which are really interesting. And then you'd be like, oh, I can boondock. All right, we got the jack plugged up. We are charging this thing. Take a look at this. This is pretty awesome. So I am now at 65%. It's going up there. It's a really good sun today. Got to use these when you're boondocking.
Yeah, the biggest thing is to have enough power, you know, because everything's going to be running on 12 volts. So one of the easiest setups that we use is just to have a quick little suitcase solar, maybe a couple of 100 watts or 100 watts of solar panel. Have them hooked to your battery so that your battery's constantly being charged. And then during the day, you can actually run fans. Like a day like today, it's going to be in the 80s. You can actually have a couple of fans running, like USB plug-in type fans that you plug right into your battery. And you won't have any draw on your battery at all, so that way you're really not going to run down your battery until night starts, you know. So it's a great way to keep your batteries up. Use solar.
Hey, it's Bear with the Gimpy Camper. So my couple of tips for boondocking. Number one is you need a way to fill your water up. You can try to fill it up before you get to the campground or whatever, but in case you forget or if you don't have the option to, you got to fill the tank up somehow. And so the first time I did it, I used a little 1 gallon jug, and that took a long time to get a little bit of water. So I went to Walmart, got a 6 gallon jerry can. It says it's BPA free. They're like $10 to $15. I carry 3 of them in my camper because they fit real good. If I did this a lot, I would go with like a water bladder or something like that. But just something lightweight, easy to use is these jugs right here. Now the other thing, the best tip that I have for you though is about the heat, because especially at night it's usually comfortable as long as you can have a little bit of airflow around the camper, and so you're going to need a fan. A lot of people use a battery powered fan, and that's fine. The one that we used for a long time is a DeWalt fan, because a lot of these tools, if you have a tool set, there's a pretty good percentage chance that the manufacturer of that tool set is going to make a fan these days, even at Harbor Freight. And so just something to move around a little bit of air. I recently got this fan. It's a zero polar fan. It's USB. Now it uses up to 2 amps on a 2 amp USB, but this little fan is less than $20 and it puts out a whole lot of wind. So just something to keep that air circulating in the camper, and you're going to be a lot more comfortable.
All right, so thanks to my friends from Adventures in Xanadu and the Gimpy Camper for giving us some really good tips. I'm going to give you some tips I learned. This is my first time really boondocking, and I read a bunch of stuff and I watched a lot of videos, and I realized what really works for me as a solo female traveler in a van. So here are the things. I'm going to create a checklist. I'm going to give you a link in the description below. You can go to charliegraceadventures.com and you can find the whole list there for you can download. It'll be really interesting for you as you go when you start your boondocking adventures. So here's the things I noticed that I needed in addition to everything everyone was talking about. Now, number one, which we really didn't talk about, was taking a shower. Keeping clean, it's really important. So if you're like me, especially if you have long hair, you got to figure out how and when are you going to take a shower. So, wet wipes, fantastic. Got to have some wet wipes. So, every kind you can think of. There's like the Huggies and baby wipes too, the hydro, getting all your makeup off and things like that. So take a look at wet wipes, figure out what works for you, and make sure you get those. That's number one. Number two, Yes, you can take a shower while boondocking, but you have to have enough water. So did I take a shower this past trip? Absolutely. I have 26-gallon freshwater tank, and I've got a really cool shower head that saves water when I use it. So I'm not keeping the water on all the time. I'm getting my body wet. I'm putting on shampoo and stuff and then rinsing everything off. When it comes to energy, the battery's important, but sometimes you just need little portable things, and these little solar battery chargers are fantastic. They really work really, really well. So the whole idea is you want to make sure you get those wonderful sunny days, charge them really up, and then if you need them, they're ready. It's just in case battery life, and I love these things, so get yourself one of those. Let's talk generators. I've got one. Do you have one? Really handy when you're boondocking. Let me tell you what, there's a lot of things you can do, but you've got to be very careful as to how much energy you're going to use with your generator. So I use my generator specifically on the times when I'm trying to keep the temperature just at the right spot and the humidity down for my dog, Rosie Bell Dog. That's pretty much why I have my generators, for temperature control and or to turn on my water pump when I want to take a shower. Those are the two big reasons. So depending on what you use electricity for in your camper van, some people do a lot more solar, but a generator is really, really handy. So don't negate a generator and don't negate good batteries. It's totally worth it. I'm sure I'll have more on my blog at charliegraceadventures.com. Check it out, subscribe, and you'll learn all the good inside stuff as we go along in this travel journey together. So do me a favor, hit that thumbs up and subscribe and bell to get notified. Every week we put out really cool videos on how to enjoy your adventure, because every day is an adventure.